from the IT perspective, because these investment banks, they have to develop their IT systems. Okay, so these CFA charter holders, with their experience, they are able to determine the strategy, they are able to determine the type of products to be rolled out, because they know the business in and out. As a result, they are very much in demand in information technology companies, like a business specialist, function specialist, like that way. Okay, but I would say that these are the areas wherein like you should focus on. In fact, like up till over here, maybe like when you are, because this is very much aligned with your work as a CFA. Okay, now let's see who are the employers who are employing the CFA charter holders. Okay, nowadays lots of employers are asking CFA slash MBA slash CFA, because like CFA, if you see, it's like compared to now MBA in finance. Okay, now lots of people are saying that a candidate should have CFA or CFA charter, or at least should be in the process of getting it. At least he should have been admitted in the CFA program, writing CFA level 1, level 2, like that. Okay, now these are the employers who have the highest number of charter holders. Okay, Bank of America, Merrill Lynch, Barclays, Morgan Stanley. So who's who of the investment banking industry, they are employing CFA charter holders, CFA candidates. Okay, now if you see, most of these companies, they are also present in India. So they have like their front office in India, their back office is also in India, middle office is in India. Now a CFA charter holder or CFA candidate can get, or a person who has passed the CFA examination can get employed in all of these verticals of the companies. Okay, so this is how I would say that CFA candidates are in huge demand because of the knowledge that they have, and because the companies, they need those knowledge. The companies cannot operate without these people. And if you see, finance is a field wherein like lots of the people are the asset. It is that the analysis is being done by the people that makes the firm as asset. If you see, most of the companies, like these companies, in fact, like around 30 to 40% of their cost is the compensation or the salary of the employees that they have hired. Okay. Okay. Now, so there's a question which is like, what level the candidates that they get into after passing level 1. If you see that the companies, they have different companies, they have different levels. Okay, but I would say that you can say that after CFA level 1, okay, it's not that like what CFA level 1 matters, but what is like your work experience will also matter. Let's say if you are a have like 1 or 2 years of experience, you have cleared your level 1, you would be like recruited as a junior level employee, maybe like as an associate you will be recruited. But if you have like, let's say 10-15 years of experience, okay, and you have CFA level 1, then you might be recruited as a vice president also. Okay, now it depends on this, but I would say that you should look into as a type of work that you will be doing. So typically when you have lower number of work experience, typically the work would be as an analyst. Okay, maybe like as a supporting analyst to the senior analyst. That is like the work you do, because you learn, you have to learn the steps. Okay, I would say that it is CFA level 2, which is a very good credential, because in CFA level 2 you focus on the valuation. Because as I said, that CFA level 1 is very wide in nature, but companies, they know that a person who has completed CFA level 1 has good knowledge, so they prefer to hire those having CFA level 1 as compared to those who are not. So this is not the only criteria, there will be lots of criteria, but just like emphasizing on the importance of the CFA level 1 or level 2. Okay, now let's see the industry recognition that the CFA program has got. Okay, it has been around for 50 plus years, and it is known as the gold standard in the investment management. It is like has got really wide industry recognition. Okay, now the CFA Institute did a survey and tried to find out the how the institute courses as being recognized by the industry. So what they said is like the CFA charter holder, okay, they found that they were able to beat the salary level of their peers by around 50%. Please note that this survey was done in USA, and it was back in 2005 or 6, around that. Okay, so that means like this survey was not done in India, but I would say that India is also a similar economy, or like a trying to become a similar economy like US. So I would say that maybe like in future you can see this type of structure will be prevalent in India also. Now the study mentioned that between a CFA and an MBA, it is the CFA who demand on an average the higher salary, because if you see the CFA and the MBA syllabus, okay, you will find that the CFA syllabus is more focused. It's more focused on the depth. You try to understand the depth, whereas in MBA it is like not so focused. You try to get a overall picture, not trying to get into the details. Or in finance, so when you are working in a finance field, CFA is much more better than MBA in finance. However, like in MBA you get to learn a lot of about organization behavior, about your skills, etc. So that you cannot directly compare the learning that you get, but if you are interested in finance, I would say that the CFA is much better than your MBA. Okay. Now it also is mentioned that the combination of the CFA charter and MBA, it is the ultimate mix. Okay, that means this is very lucrative, and employers look in for this type of deadly combination of a CFA and an MBA. Okay, now we have been seeing that recently, like lots of people in India and China, they are uh, writing the CFA examinations because like of our culture, because our culture is education wise focused, credential wise focused. So that is why you will see lots of people writing in India this examination. Okay, now also you'll find that lots of MBAs or MBA students are writing this examination because they believe that CFA is a route to enter into iBank. Any question over here? Okay, so let's now there's a question about like the experience in the retail banking. Will this retail banking experience help? Okay, now I would say that retail banking experience is like you are becoming slightly aware about the investment, because now if you see like lots of retail banks have also started selling the financial products or started advising the clients on the financial products. So what happens is like you have certain idea, certain knowledge. Okay, the idea is like you get your CFA done, so and then enter into the industry. So a level 1 or level 2 definitely would be helping, because what happens is like education will not go in waste. That is what our experiences, and that was what we believe, and especially a curriculum like CFA, which is providing you with a lot of practical nuggets, practical experience that you will see. Okay, so retail banking experience, yes, if you are like not you are like away from your client, if you're away from the business, it's difficult, but like the idea is like you enter into this program and then try to make a switch in this particular industry. Okay, now uh, this particular examination is expensive examination, primarily because it is being conducted by an institute in USA. Okay, so if you are like thinking about writing this examination, I would say that believe in if this is helping in your future, if it will help in your career. Okay, what happens is like the institute has different deadline. Okay, and they have one is known as early deadline. Early deadline unfortunately is currently over, so if you had registered by the early deadline, you would, the cost would have been slightly lesser. Now the structure is such that the fee structure is there is a registration fee